Hello and welcome. Welcome to another edition of Voices of Genius. I'm very pleased to be here with all of you today for this special edition with Gregg Braden that we recorded for Global Oneness Day to celebrate not only our oneness, but to celebrate humanity's team that has been doing an extraordinary amount of work across our globe for over 15 years now. I encourage you to explore humanity's team and all of Gregg Braden's offerings and work that he's done for over 40-something years now. Wow. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get started and let's check in with Gregg and see what's going on this amazing planet and challenge planet that we share. You know, you're connected to our Native American friends, the Hopi and the Navajo, and now they have a word to describe, the way they live in the world called hoso, which is to walk the beauty way, meaning to live in peace and to live in harmony. And as you know, the Lakota use this expression, aho meta kuya osan, which loosely means, for all our relations and to be in the interconnectedness, Gregg. And this is what we're talking about here, folks, this journey of living and walking the beauty way and living in interconnectedness. And of course, we never retire from that. And, I just feel so blessed to be sharing this beautiful planet with so many amazing things happening. And yet, Gregg, there's so much conflict. There's chaos. The insanity seems more pervasive than ever before. And living the beauty way and understanding the interconnectedness seems more challenging or more remote or unavailable to many of us. And you've been sharing a little bit about how you see the world, and I'd love to go a little further about that little through line. How can we really step into this greater place of our own journey beyond what we are maybe experiencing to be in the interconnectedness in the beauty way?
Well, you nailed it. There are in northern New Mexico, between the city of Albuquerque, where the big airport is, and the Colorado border, just to my north, there are 11 individual pueblos. They call themselves the Pueblo people, but each community has its own unique signature. And we are steeped in indigenous traditions, Navajo, Apache, up toward the Four Corners area. One of the early, even when I was in the corporations, by day as a senior computer systems designer was that was my job. At night, I was studying some of our most ancient and cherished spiritual traditions, including indigenous traditions of our past. And interestingly, the Navajo were some of the first that I came across. And the role that beauty plays for the Navajo as a scientist was so important for me, because the science of today, modern science, views four forces of nature that they're trying to unify. When you hear people talk about the unified field theory, what they're trying to do is find one beautiful, eloquent equation, a story that weaves all of those forces into one beautiful story, and they've yet to find that. The Navajo say there's a fifth force. So scientists say that we have the electromagnetic force, the force of gravity, the strong and the weak nuclear force. The Navajo say the missing force, the fifth force, is beauty. Beauty is more than an aesthetic that we perceive. It is literally a force. We are changed in the presence of beauty. When we perceive beauty, there are biochemical changes that unfold inside of our bodies. Our immune system becomes more robust in the presence of what we perceive as beauty. Our longevity enzymes awaken. We become more resilient to change in the presence of beauty. So I'd just like to share with our community right now, there's a very lengthy beauty prayer that is done in Navajo ceremonies. It's beyond what we can do well right here. There is a Navajo artist. His name is Shanto Bigay, an amazing Navajo artist who condensed that beauty prayer into 3 phrases that I say to myself at least once on a daily basis, and I have for over 40 years. Beauty plays a powerful role in my life. And those phrases, I'll share them and then what they mean. Yeah, the first phrase is the beauty that I live with, the beauty that I live by, the beauty upon which I base my life. The beauty I live with reminds us that the beauty is already present in all things. May not be apparent, but it's present. Our job is to seek out the beauty in the world around us and in the events of the world. The beauty that I live by is an invitation to allow that beauty to play a deeper role, a powerful role in our lives. The beauty upon which I base my life is an invitation, rather than accepting beauty as this peripheral experience of perception, to bring beauty front and center as the foundation. Expect to see beauty in all things, even the things that sometimes don't appear beautiful at first. We have to look very deeply in our role in the beauty. So the beauty I live with, the beauty I live by, the beauty upon which I base my life. I think it's important now. You're asking about the world in chaos. I think most of our viewers are probably familiar with a scientific system that is called cymatics, C-Y-M-A-T-I-C-S. If speak to my viewers, if you're not, you can just Google it or YouTube it. I think you've probably seen the images, even if you're not familiar with the word. When we pump vibration into a system of stuff, so the stuff can be a liquid, it can be water, it can be mercury, it can be talcum powder, graphite, whatever it is. Each tone that we hear with our ears is a vibration that creates a very specific pattern. And then you change the tone, different pattern. Go back to the tone, and you go back to that same pattern. It helps us to understand our relationship, our vibratory relationship to the world. But here's why I'm sharing this. Mm-hmm. When you look at cymatics and you see these beautiful patterns, and when the vibration is higher and it goes to the next pattern, what you see, that pattern has to completely break down to give way to a higher order. That pattern, the beautiful pattern that was present in one vibration, in the presence of one vibration, that pattern will go into chaos as it reorganizes itself to a more beautiful pattern, a higher level of order in response to a higher vibration. That's how nature creates change, and that's what we're living through right now. That principle applies to this planet. It applies to the financial system. It applies to the conflict that we're seeing in the world. It applies to our own healing in our bodies. It applies to our most intimate relationships. It applies to everything because we're part of nature. So we happen to be, Adam, the generation that is living through that transition as we elevate to, and people say this all the time, we're going to a higher state, a higher frequency, higher consciousness, however you want to frame it. There is a shift in a vibration. There's a geophysical shift. There is a shift cosmologically, incoming higher levels of gamma radiation from the center of our Milky Way that happen every 25,000 years. There's so many ways to look at this. And the beauty is you don't have to know any of it. The bottom line is we are in an evolutionary process moving to a higher order. To go from where we are to that higher order, the unsustainable systems that we have come to know and trust and navigate, that's what we've learned in our lives. Those unsustainable systems are buckling and collapsing because they are unsustainable. And they are reassembling as a higher order, a more beautiful pattern, a more sustainable system. And that is, and it will be to a greater degree, reflected in the world around us. The technology that we choose, the societies that we choose, the healing modalities, the financial systems, all of those things. But here's the thing, Adam, it can't happen on a dime. There is a process, and we happen to be the generation, and it's no surprise, anyone who's studied ancient and indigenous traditions, whether you're talking about Mayan cycles or Aztec cycles or Kali Yuga and the Hindu cycles, or you're talking about Chinese cycles or the Hebrew calendar, and what the Torah tells us about cycles of time, Native American. I spent a lot of time in Peru. I spent a lot of time in the Yucatan, the shamans. They all have told us that this lifetime is a lifetime of that transition. So this is our opportunity we're in it. The only way out of it is to go through it. We're in it now. We can't stop. We can't stop what's coming. What we can do is to know ourselves, to love ourselves enough, to know ourselves, the deep truth of what it means to be human, because we're wired for this kind of change, man. We are here. We're made to adapt to this kind of change, to transform our world, to transcend, not just to survive, but to transcend, to become more than the changes that life has brought to our doorstep. And the only way to do that is we must embrace the deep truth of our humanness, our divinity. What does it mean to be human? How do we express our divinity? Divinity, again, talked about this in some other programs on Humanities Team. Many people think that divinity somehow is related to religion, because there are schools of divinity that have made that association. But when you look at the definition, it's so interesting. Divinity is our ability to transcend perceived limitations, and that's it. To become more than, not just survive, but to become more than perceived. They may not even be real limitations. They're limitations we've been programmed to accept about ourselves, what we're capable of, our healing, our intellect, our imagination, our creativity, our innovation, all of these things. Our divinity is expressed through our human body. So to the degree that we can honor the gift of our bodies, take care of yourself, man. You need to be healthier now, everyone. We need to be healthier than we've ever been, because that supports our humanness, and it's through our humanness that we express our divinity. Our divinity is what helps us to transcend this time of chaos. And if you don't know that, it looks like the world is just coming apart at the seams for no apparent reason. And a lot of people go into a lot of fear around that. So what I want to say, and I know we want to get some other things, but I just want to say this doesn't last forever. Yeah. We'll get through this, and we'll get through it together. And there'll be a time we're looking back and saying, man, what a ride that was. But for right now, we are in the thick of it. And it is a rare and precious moment in the history of our planet, our civilization, our society, our nation, our personal lives, and our most intimate relationships. You cannot separate one from another, because they're all part of the field. And we're going to talk about this. They're all part of the field. And because of that, the choices that we make in our individual lives become the bridge, making it easier for the next person to make a healthy choice in their lives. And I think that's where we want to go with this.
I want to thank everybody for joining us, for being here with us in this little extraordinary journey that we've been on for the last 45 minutes or so, to receive this great invitation to walk the beauty way, to embrace our interconnectedness, however you may take that journey, scientifically, energetically, spiritually, whatever it may be. We're all here together, and it's a great honor to be sharing this amazing planet with all of you. So thank you, and bless you all, and be well, Gregg.
Thank you so much. I look forward to our next. Thank you all for sharing part of your day with us today. We appreciate it.